Today I'm gonna walk you through 5 beginner kettlebell movements. What I love about kettlebells is you can find them in almost any store in all kinds of different weights, and then you can do these movements in your living room, in your basement, in your garage, or you can even do them at the gym. And not only are these movements gonna get you stronger, but you're gonna start seeing definition everywhere, in your arms, shoulders, back, legs, and even your butt. First on our list of kettlebell movements today, we're gonna do Russian kettlebell swings. So for a proper kettlebell swing, use the hips to raise that kettlebell and swing it forward to eye level. The arms are just placeholders. The hips will hinge, the kettlebell will come between the legs, and then we'll squeeze the butt to get the kettlebell to raise to eye level. Some of the things you want to stay away from when doing the kettlebell movement is letting the shoulders fall forward and rounding of the back with every kettlebell swing. The second thing you'll see is a swing that's far too low coming between the knees or the shins. We want to keep that kettlebell nice and tight to the body, and the swing is coming right between the upper part of the legs. Now we're gonna do the goblet squat. So the kettlebell can be held in any position. You can hold it at the handles, you can flip it upside down, whatever is most comfortable for you. So first you'll set your feet a little wider than hip width apart and slightly pointed out, only slightly. When going into the squat, you're gonna drive those knees out first, send the hips slightly back while holding that kettlebell right at the chest. The whole goal is to break below parallel or wherever feels most comfortable for you. Once you get to the bottom of the squat, squeeze the hips forward and squeeze the butt to stand up with that kettlebell. The kettlebell is gonna stay at the chest the entire time. What you wanna stay away from when doing a goblet squat is when you get to the bottom of that squat, make sure the chest raises up first instead of the hips. We call that a stripper squat, you know? We wanna stay away from that, unless you wanna do that, it's up to you. So make sure that chest raises up first and the hips follow as you stand. Next, we have the kettlebell deadlift. So first, you're gonna put your feet at hip width apart, and you're gonna put the kettlebell right between your feet, right at the top of your shoelaces. Next, you're gonna pull those shoulders back, pull the lats down, and keep those shoulders back as you hinge at the hips to come down to grab the kettlebell. Once we grab that kettlebell, the hips should be slightly elevated above the shoulders, and we're gonna stand with those shoulders first and squeeze the hips forward. What we wanna stay away from when doing the kettlebell deadlift is rounding of the shoulders. So make sure, keep those shoulders back as we go down to grab the kettlebell instead of letting them fall forward, which will lead to rounding of the back. Now we're going to do a single arm bent over row. So you'll step your left foot forward and right foot back, and so we're in a split stance. You're gonna set that kettlebell next to your front left foot. We're gonna hinge at the hips, keeping the chest nice and elevated. You're gonna grab that kettlebell and pull it towards the hip. What we wanna stay away from in this movement is pulling the kettlebell towards the shoulder because it's gonna rotate the shoulder in an unsafe position. And the second thing we wanna stay away from is jerking the arm. We wanna make sure we're controlled the entire time. Now last on our list is the sumo deadlift high pull. First, for our sumo deadlift, you're gonna go a wide sumo stance. So outside the hips, you're gonna point those toes slightly out, and the kettlebell is gonna be right in between the middle of your legs. We're gonna keep the shoulders back, chest up, drive the knees out like you're pointing towards your pinky toe, and as we sink down into that deadlift position, keep that chest nice and elevated. Once you grab your kettlebell, you're gonna stand up with that kettlebell, then you will pull those elbows higher than your wrists to get that high pull position. What we wanna stay away from in the sumo deadlift high pull is pulling those wrists above the elbow. It's gonna put a ton of pressure on that elbow. And make sure every time we're standing up, that chest is staying nice and elevated instead of rounding at the back. Try these movements out and let me know what you think.